Black power in the name of Heru, in the name of Ogun. Black power in the name of Heru, in the name of Ogun. Black power. Power is the ability to act and to effect a cause. Where there's a cause, there is an effect. What is our effect now? Is it poverty? There is a cause, and there is an enemy. And it's time to defeat that enemy. There is a story of a girl, 18-year-old girl, Nakia Crawford, who was shot in a drive-by shooting. Some people said it was a white man. Now, you can't go by hearsay because people have all kinds of stories, all kinds of imagination. So enough investigation had to be done. But if it was a white man, what are black males doing except being cowardly? There's a story coming out of England of a black man who loved Caucasian so much that in a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest, the protesters was beaten on an alt-right anti-protester. And he went to the rescue of the white male whom he loved so much. He carried him on his shoulders, and his eyes seemed like he was in a trance, a black guy in skin complexion. Then there was a picture of another protest in the United States where this black cop somehow was not in contact with his unit. And there was a group of people who you may call the lower class of black males, who say they were the lower class, locking their arms together to protect the white cop, an effeminate, low-class Negroes. And there is a picture of two crackheads who whites have got to put on a T-shirt, White Lives Matter. Two crackhead-looking guys who white people was able to give a few dollars to wear a T-shirt, say White Lives Matter. And a guy who was at a sign saying, "Your daughter loved every inch of us, so why can't you?" Why he want the males to love him? It looked like a short guy who want a male to love him like their daughters do. What kind of mess is that? And then there was another video of this freakish woman who was an exhibitionist showing, twerking, half naked in front of military police, military and the police. She was an exhibitionist. So there are sick people out there, very much sick people out there. So what are we going to do? And there was an effeminate man, it must be a homosexual, said he loved it to see the woman dancing halfway naked. And he must have been some kind of a gay dude saying he loved it. And I hope I'm wrong by saying that during the protests, when there was some people went into the high-end stores in the white areas, in Rodeo Drive in California, Lenox Mall in Atlanta, and CNN, and Midtown Manhattan, white areas, tearing up the shops, that they only had nerve, the Negroes, the silly Negroes only had nerve to do that because of the white. Oh, otherwise, white people were suggesting those areas and gave them courage. Otherwise, silly Negroes would have tear up their own neighborhood. Silly, stupid Negroes with IQ maybe 45 or 50, or maybe 60. And what caused that such of a low IQ among us? They would have tore up and burned up their own neighborhood. And it was shown that it was white people who burned the precinct in Minneapolis, and also that burned the Wendy's in Atlanta. I don't know if it was white-owned Wendy's, because black people own a lot of fast food establishment in Atlanta. Black people own a lot of them. But it was a white woman who burned down the Wendy's. They had pictures of them. And black people, some of them are too afraid, too scared. They don't know what time it is. They're afraid the repercussion, afraid of their life, or the repercussion, afraid to lose their jobs. But as even Trump said, what do we have to lose? What do we have to lose except our poverty, our fear? We have not been given the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You have to get rid of this effeminism among black males. There was in the news, and the news made sure to put that and keep rotating that story of a man, a young, he was maybe a youngish, male crying. He was a truck driver crying because of racism against him. Tears, shed tears, showing effeminate side. And they sure to put that as a sign of weakness. And that was not the first time. About a month or so ago, it was a similar. thing of a black male, FedEx driver, I believe, shedding tears and crying and sobbing like a bitch because of racism against him. So I pray in the name of He rule, that we stand up as males with courage and not with wolf ticket and from photo ops with rifles, but not using it. So if white people pick them off one by one, only the strong will survive. But in our community, it is the weak that they are allowed to survive. When in nature, only the strong survive. But in our community, those who show themselves weak is surviving. And we don't have the time to play around. Game is over. Game is over now. This is our time. Our time to shine. Rise, shine. Give God the glory. Rise, shine. Give God the glory. It's now or never. People are afraid even to hear the truth. That they are spineless against the enemy, but they quick to kill each other. Even a woman, they're quick to kill. Black person, quick to kill another black person, but afraid to become spineless, face of the enemy. And the swirling would have to stop too. And you can see the swirlers, plenty of them were suddenly wrapped in, because playtime is over. They could have done that in former time, but it's Black Power time now. Even 1970s, 1970. This is the magazine Ebony from 1970. It say, "Which Way, Black America?" Ebony magazine, 1970. Saying, "Which way, Black America?" Integration, separation, or liberation. And that was from 1970. The crescent remain now. We don't even meet our basic need of doing for ourselves. Food, shelter, and clothing. We must have a nation of our own.